you eat cheese. But do you know which one could be slowly raising your blood pressure, blocking your arteries, or even damaging your memory without you realizing it? This isn't a scare tactic. It's what I've seen over 20 years in blood tests, hospital beds, and heartbreaking stories that all began with one common food: cheese. Yes, it's delicious. Yes, it's everywhere. But not all cheeses are created equal, especially not for people over 60. Some cheeses are rich in calcium, vitamin K2, and probiotics that protect your brain and bones. Others, loaded with sodium, preservatives, and compounds that quietly push your blood pressure up, inflame your joints, and stress your kidneys every single day. I had a patient, we'll call him Joe, 72 years old, seemed perfectly healthy. Avid walker, loved his morning toast with a creamy cheese spread. But over the years, his blood pressure crept up. His memory got fuzzy, and when we reviewed his diet, that cheese spread, the one he trusted, was silently contributing to it all. This video could be the line between staying sharp and strong after 60 or watching your health slowly fade. So stay with me, because today I'll reveal 4 cheeses every senior must eat to stay strong, and 4 you should never touch again. One of them is probably in your fridge right now, and it may not be the friend you think it is. It's bright yellow, it melts perfectly, and it's probably sitting in your fridge right now. But if you're over 60, this common cheese might be one of the worst things you can eat. I'm talking about American cheese, the square, plastic-wrapped slices that seem convenient, soft, and harmless. But here's what most labels don't tell you. American cheese isn't actually cheese. Legally, it's called pasteurized processed cheese product, which means it's made with fillers, emulsifiers, food dyes, and sometimes powdered milk solids. I had a patient, Mr. Daniels, 68 years old. Every morning, toast, scrambled eggs, and a slice of American cheese. Blood pressure high, kidneys overworked. He thought he was eating smart until we looked closer. American cheese contains way too much sodium. Just one slice can have over 350 milligrams. Trans fats and phosphate additives, which hurt kidney function and raise bad cholesterol. Artificial coloring, like yellow number 5 and number 6, linked to inflammation and cognitive decline, remember. And worst of all, it has almost no nutritional value. Barely any calcium, very little protein, and lots of empty processed calories. Here's how to spot it. If the package says cheese food, cheese product, or processed slices, it's not real cheese. What to do instead? Try a thin slice of real cheddar, or better yet, Swiss or goat cheese. Your body will thank you. Stay with me, because the next cheese we'll talk about may actually be growing mold in your arteries. And yes, some seniors are eating it proudly. It's bright yellow, it melts perfectly, and it's probably sitting in your fridge right now. But if you're over 60, this common cheese might be one of the worst things you can eat. I'm talking about American cheese, the square, plastic-wrapped slices that seem convenient, soft, and harmless. But here's what most labels don't tell you. American cheese isn't actually cheese. Legally, it's called pasteurized processed cheese product, which means it's made with fillers, emulsifiers, food dyes, and sometimes powdered milk solids. I had a patient, Mr. Daniels, 68 years old. Every morning, toast, scrambled eggs, and a slice of American cheese. Blood pressure high, kidneys overworked. He thought he was eating smart until we looked closer. American cheese contains way too much sodium. Just one slice can have over 350 trans fats and phosphate additives, which hurt kidney function and raise bad cholesterol. Artificial coloring, like yellow number 5 and number 6, linked to inflammation and cognitive decline. And worst of all, it has almost no nutritional value. Barely any calcium, very little protein, and lots of empty processed calories. Here's how to spot it. If the package says cheese food, cheese product, or processed slices, it's not real cheese. What to do instead? Try a thin slice of real cheddar, or better yet, Swiss or goat cheese. Your body will thank you. Stay with me, because the next cheese we'll talk about may actually be growing mold in your arteries. And yes, some seniors are eating it proudly. It's soft, it's smooth, and it feels harmless, almost comforting. But cream cheese, especially the kind sold in tubs at the grocery store, can be a hidden health trap for seniors. Why? Because it's not really cheese. It's mostly fat and water, with just a tiny bit of milk solids. Worse yet, many brands add sugar, thickeners, and even preservatives like potassium sorbate. I once worked with a woman named Susan, 74 years old, lived alone, didn't eat big meals. Her breakfast? A bagel with a thick layer of cream cheese and coffee. Light, right? But over the years, her cholesterol climbed, she gained belly fat, and her doctor warned about prediabetes. What went wrong? Each tablespoon of cream cheese packs over 5 grams of fat, most of it saturated. Almost no protein, minimal calcium or nutritional value, and depending on the brand, hidden sugars and additives. To make things worse, it spoils quickly. And older adults may not notice the signs: a slightly sour smell, a faint change in color, especially when it's mixed with fruit flavors. Here's what to do instead. Replace cream cheese with ricotta, cottage cheese, or even hummus. They have real protein and are easier to digest. If you must use cream cheese, go for whipped versions. They're lower in fat and easier to spread. And always store it in the coldest part of your fridge, not the door. But the next cheese? It's not just unhealthy, it's barely even food. And it's still being marketed to seniors across America as heart-friendly. Let's expose it. Let me say this clearly. Processed cheese spread is not real food. It looks like cheese, it spreads like butter, but inside that shiny container is a chemical cocktail of salt, oils, starches, flavor enhancers, and synthetic preservatives. And for seniors, it's one of the worst things you can put on a cracker. I met Mr. Jordan, 73 years old, lived in assisted housing. Simple meals, budget-friendly. His favorite snack? Crackers with cheese spread. Every night. Fast forward 3 years, kidney function down, cholesterol up, and chronic inflammation causing pain in his joints. When we checked his food log, that cheese was on it every day. What's the problem? Loaded with sodium phosphate, which stresses the kidneys and bones, contains trans fats and artificial flavorings, offers almost zero real protein or calcium, and some versions include emulsifiers linked to gut microbiome damage. 1 slice of real Swiss cheese has nutrients. 1 spoon of cheese spread? Just soft poison. What to avoid? Anything labeled cheese product, cheese food, or cheese spread. Bright orange tubs, squeeze bottles, or shelf-stable packs. What to eat instead? Real, minimally processed cheeses, like mozzarella, feta, or goat cheese. Because now that we've seen the worst, let's flip the page and look at 4 cheeses that could actually protect your brain, bones, and blood vessels. Not all cheese is the enemy. Some can actually be your ally, especially after 60. And if I had to pick the gentlest, safest cheese for older adults, my answer would be simple: mozzarella. Not the heavily processed, low-moisture, shredded kind in plastic bags, but fresh mozzarella, especially buffalo mozzarella if you can find it. Why is it so good? Low in sodium, great for blood pressure. Low in saturated fat, easier on your heart. Rich in calcium, B12, and bioactive peptides, nutrients that support muscle function, bone health, and memory. Contains conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a healthy fat linked to lower inflammation and better fat metabolism. One of my favorite patients, Mrs. Garcia, 69 years old, used to be scared of cheese. She thought it would clog her arteries. But when we introduced 2 slices of fresh mozzarella into her lunch salads, not only did she feel full longer, her blood pressure stabilized and she lost belly fat. A few tips. Buy mozzarella packed in water or brine, not dry blocks. Eat cold or room temp with tomatoes or greens. Don't deep fry. Store in sealed containers, keep chilled, and finish within 3 to 5 days. Bonus tip. Use the leftover mozzarella water to water houseplants. It contains mild minerals that nourish soil. Yes, even your cheese can help you garden. Up next, we'll talk about a cheese that's salty but smart and has probiotic powers your gut and brain will thank you for. It's salty, it crumbles, and it just might be the best thing you can add to your salad. I'm talking about feta, a brined white cheese traditionally made from goat or sheep's milk. And for older adults, feta is a digestive gift. Why? Because it's one of the few cheeses that's naturally rich in probiotics, live bacteria that help regulate your gut microbiome, improve digestion, and even influence mood and memory. I had a client, Henry, 67, complained of gas, bloating, and sluggish digestion. He avoided cheese because he thought it made things worse. But when we introduced small amounts of feta twice a week, his bloating decreased, his energy went up, and his bowel movements became regular again. Scientific studies have shown that probiotic strains in fermented cheeses like feta can help reduce inflammation in the gut, improve immune response, and even support brain-gut communication. A few tips to get the most from feta. Choose authentic feta, made from goat or sheep's milk, not cow. Buy block feta in brine, not crumbled dry versions. Add it after cooking, not during. Heat can kill probiotics. Use sparingly. It's salty, but a little goes a long way. Best pairings? Feta with olive oil, tomatoes, cucumbers, or spinach. Bonus, the leftover brine from feta can be reused to marinate vegetables. It's full of flavor and natural acids. Up next, a cheese that's smooth, nutty, and surprisingly low in sodium. One of the few that protects both your bones and your brain. It's full of holes, but that's what makes it special. And if you're over 60, it might be the only cheese your bones truly love. I'm talking about Swiss cheese, the pale yellow semi-hard cheese with those iconic holes. But don't let the appearance fool you. Swiss cheese is one of the most nutrient-dense cheeses you can eat as a senior. Why? Extremely low in sodium, about 54 milligrams per ounce. Packed with vitamin K2, which helps calcium reach your bones, not your arteries. High in vitamin B12, key for nerve health and energy. Rich in protein and phosphorus, essential for bone maintenance. I once had a client, Bill, 66, early signs of osteoporosis. He avoided cheese, thinking all of it was bad for his blood pressure. But we swapped in Swiss cheese, small cubes, 3 times a week with lunch. 6 months later, his DEXA scan showed no further bone loss. And his blood pressure? Still stable. Research in the Journal of Nutrition shows that vitamin K2 from fermented dairy like Swiss cheese can reduce arterial calcification and improve bone density in older adults. A few tips for Swiss cheese. Choose natural blocks, not plastic-wrapped singles. Eat it with greens or fermented foods to boost K2 absorption. Avoid melting it into fried foods. Keep it simple. Bonus, Swiss cheese has less lactose than most, making it easier to digest for many older adults. And now we arrive at our final cheese, a creamy, tangy, powerful option that supports inflammation, digestion, and brain clarity. You've probably seen it, but might have never tried it. It's softer, a little tangy, and maybe the most underappreciated cheese on this list. I'm talking about goat cheese, also called chèvre. And if you've avoided cheese because it upsets your stomach or makes you foggy, goat cheese might be exactly what your body's been waiting for. Here's why. It's made with A2 casein, easier to digest than cow's milk, A1 casein. It has less lactose, causing fewer GI symptoms. It contains medium-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation. It's rich in zinc, selenium, vitamin A, and omega-3 fats, all nutrients that support brain clarity and immune health. I once worked with a woman named Carol, 72, retired teacher, started feeling mentally slow and bloated after meals. We switched her from cream cheese and cheddar to soft goat cheese, just 2 tablespoons every few days. In 4 weeks, her digestion improved. She felt lighter, and the brain fog, gone. How to get the most from goat cheese. Choose fresh, unflavored goat cheese in a log or round. Store cold. Goat cheese spoils faster than hard cheeses. Pair it with whole grain toast, roasted veggies, or even fruit, figs, apples, berries. Bonus, you can blend goat cheese with olive oil and herbs for a gut-friendly spread that replaces cream cheese entirely. Now that we've explored the good, the bad, and the delicious, let's close this journey with one final reminder, and a question that could change how you eat for the rest of your life. So here we are. We've walked through the cheeses that may quietly harm you, and the ones that can actually support your bones, brain, and digestion, even after 60. And maybe, like many of my patients, you're surprised, because it's not just about good versus bad, it's about what works with your body, not against it. No food is perfect, but the right food at the right time can help you feel stronger, lighter, clearer, and more in control again. So let me ask you, how many of these 4 good cheeses are in your fridge right now? And how many of the dangerous ones might be hiding there too? If you learned something new today, a simple truth, a new ingredient, or just a better way to care for yourself, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below. Which cheese are you switching to, and which one are you saying goodbye to? Share this video with someone over 60. Someone who loves cheese but never got the full picture. And if you believe in living smarter, aging stronger, and choosing wisely, subscribe to Wise Living. Because food doesn't just feed your body, it tells your story. Let's make it a good one.